Hello there, this is Jordan Mercier. Welcome into episode number 2 of the Wolverines Report, the podcast. And I'm pleased to be joined today by Jeff Allen. He is the head coach of the U12 Wolverines. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thank you, Jordan. Super excited to be here. And this is the first inaugural season of the U10 and U12, and I was happy to be chosen as the U12 AAA Pee Wee Wolverines team head coach in Peterborough. And I'm really excited. I can't wait. We've already started winter workouts, and we're seeing good numbers come out. I've had past experience with the Bantams, junior varsity and senior varsity teams, and also this year, my youngest son is of age to play. So when I was asked to take on the role, it was without question. Already, we've really dove right into this team and the planning. And one of the first things I did was surround myself with great people who each have that strong skill set to contribute to this age group and this program. And I have 12 committed U12 only coaches,
wow,
male and female, and they just share the same passion as I do about the game and believe in the value and investment in these young players and what they're going to develop into. And we're hoping to provide a very safe, fundamentally sound program from the beginning. We want to have a competitive team, and I think all these attributes are going to serve these athletes well as they start this football journey. One of the big things right now is Football Canada is focusing on what's called the LTAD model, and that's a new release from them, and it basically stands for long-term athlete development. And it's generally a new framework for athletic development that pays special attention to the growth, maturation, trainability, and sports system and alignment and integration. And what better time to start this than at U10 and U12 level? Already we're seeing so many excited families come out, and who are many of which are new to football, because at this age group we didn't. Peterborough hasn't offered that sport for this age group, and they're transitioning now to this new spring and summer sport. As right now, with March being still a busy hockey playoff month, we're seeing many families continue to juggle schedules and make it work, and opening that door for them to be a part of something beyond hockey, and certainly when hockey finishes, maybe a change up from your standard soccer, lacrosse, or whatever other sports you were getting involved with. But we're making it work, and everybody feels supported all the way along. And already the families, we have a great sense of cohesion and teamwork just in a couple of practices. And my goal is to provide for them the full football experience from workouts right through to the hopefully the championship down the road.
Wow, you covered a lot of ground there. I am interested to hit on one particular point. You mentioned 12 people and 12 dedicated coaches for this particular age group. Now, I know there's importance in being able to, have different perspectives and different passions and different expertise, but 12 people, I mean, that's unbelievable, the amount of passion that could probably bring. And you must be excited as the head coach to know, hey, when I make a mistake, I got 11 other people who are going to let me know.
Yeah, and it's quite a change from a high school environment when you're only limited in terms of coaching to a handful, sometimes 2 to 4 staff, maybe some community people. To have 12, it's actually going to force me to be a little more organized and a little more able to delegate those tasks. But for each of these staff, they bring a certain background and skill set. And one of the things with football is the better communication we have in terms of small groups and them learning position-specific skills and knowledge. It's just that many more hands, eyes, and voices that are going to help develop this team much further and faster than perhaps other teams that are disadvantaged. And certainly from high school, you do feel that as well, where even this last season, there was only 3 of us coaches, and to reach all those players and pull the system together so everybody's cohesive, it can be hard. And with now, the exciting part about this year is U10 and U12 are playing 9-on-9, which is unlike the 12-on-12 regular game, we'll call it, and also 4-down football, which is going to be new and different. So it's going to certainly task me to to get those pieces pulled together. But I have people in place that are going to really toe the line for me and help me out.
You've seen in different sports, I mean, hockey is one example, perhaps, where they've started to reassess sort of what the game should look like at a younger age. You mentioned now 9-on-9 versus 12-on-12. Is the idea that you're getting more people involved, that there's more skills that will be developed in that type of environment versus your traditional 12-on-12?
You know what? The reason for 9-on-9, it reduces some of the kind of the I'll call it the fringe positions. Okay, fewer receivers. And why fewer receivers? Well, we're also talking about 10 and 11-year-olds may not be able to throw that ball quite the same. So with that, it's going to have its own challenges, but also a very exciting game. I mean, we don't practice as coaches how to play 9-on-9, so it really forces us to look at our game, look at our playbook, and adapt it and create something that's going to work with the parts we're given. So
yeah, very interesting stuff. Now, you also are the head coach of the junior team over there at Adam Scott, and I know Peterborough has an outstanding history when it comes to high school football. Talk to me a little bit about the transferable skills when you start at a U10 program and a U12 program and you get to high school versus a lot of kids, and yourself included, where sometimes maybe they start playing in high school. Right?
Well, that's right. And obviously I'm a little biased being a football coach, but all organizations and clubs probably can speak to this, something similar in the fact that with that particular sport, certainly in my case, football, those players that play, it actually changes you. And I've had 20 years experience with football, and it's unique. It's a very unique game, and there's elements of teamwork, perseverance, obviously dedication, commitment, and a grit that these players develop. And I can't pinpoint it, but it's really unlike, I think, many other sports. I know that any listeners out there can actually probably relate to that and that unique experience that, likely just high school football provided them. And for me, unfortunately, at the time, Kinsman Minor Football and Wolverines, I wasn't involved, and it was grade 9 in high school where that was my first opportunity. And I only had a quick 5 years, and then it was done. It was just a kind of a fleeting experience that, again, left so many of those transferable skills. And once I left, I was destined to come back as a coach and pay it forward all those same just memories and the passions that were kind of instilled in me as a player. And I think we've done that. And I think certainly Peterborough and all coaches in Peterborough, likely abroad too, can really relate to that, where that's why we coach. There was something that was special, either experienced or a coach provided us, and we just love the game. And unique to grade 9, I mean, you come out and you have basically you have to go from learning how to get equipment on to winning a championship in 10 short weeks. And that's everybody's challenge here in Peterborough. Now, the provision of such young groups as U10 and U12, we're in a position now where these players are going to see multiple seasons at a young age prior to even coming to grade 9. Right. So they could potentially have 5 seasons. And once they're in grade 9, they're instantly able to contribute. 10 years under their belt by the time they're off to university. And by that point, they have attention of many youth sports coaches and are ready to move on to that next level. And who knows what the end's going to be for them. We've got former players in Wolverines that have gone on to many youth sports. Right now, the Examiner is posting frequent announcements of those players moving on.
Yeah,
we've got American colleges seeing some of our players, and all the way up to the CFL. So, I think with the U10 and U12 opportunity, it's a great chance to get involved. Wolverines, Kinsman, and get that experience under your belt before high school. Contribute it right away as a player in your first years at high school, and then be ready for whatever the rest of your career holds.
In the prior episode, we talked a little bit about maybe it wasn't always the case, but right now there seems to be a lot more in the way of synergy between what the Wolverines program can offer into high school, and it doesn't have to be one versus the other, which, again, you do see a little bit in some sports. Maybe they don't want you playing in that organization or whatever, but, I mean, you're a perfect example. You coach in both levels.
Right. I think players, first of all, it's 2 different seasons. We're talking of Ontario Summer Football League. They have the entire summer dedicated to football. Quick short break in August when they might enjoy family time and holidays, and then right back at it in September or just before in terms of any kind of high school camps. And yeah, we're on the field competing once again and helping your teammates along the way that didn't have that same journey and that didn't have that experience with any sort of pre-high school exposure. And they can be absolute assets to teams that have these players. And already we can see, and we can go down our rosters at all levels, Bantam, JV, and varsity, and we're seeing schools represented from all different schools. And that's a great advantage, because it would certainly be a little lopsided if, for example, certain high schools had a majority of players playing rep sports. That could create a bit of a disparity between teams, but it's quite well balanced and represented amongst all high schools.
If perhaps somebody's out there watching this and they want to get a little bit more in the way of information, you mentioned that there have been some winter workouts right now, but in terms of actually putting the program together, is there still opportunities?
Absolutely. What we know is we don't want to turn anybody away. This is a new opportunity for everybody. And even though you have commitments to finish in terms of your hockey season and your team, we want to see you finish that. And then PeterboroughWolverines.ca. Get on there, find your appropriate age group, contact that coach, and we'll make it work. If you want to play, there's a spot for you on the team. Absolutely. Head
coach of the U12 Wolverines, as well as the Adam Scott Lions. Yeah, there you go. Great stuff. That's Jeff Allen. I'm Jordan Mercier. This has been another episode of the Wolverines Reports.